Today we're going to talk about writing equations. So when you're writing equations from a word problem or you're given a word problem and you're trying to find a matching equation, we need to remember to use key vocabulary. Okay, so our vocabulary is going to be really, really important in determining which operations, right, will be in the problem. So we have add, subtract, multiply, divide, and then words that mean equal. So we're going to go through a couple of those. So some common words on the STAAR test that indicate we're going to add would be the word and, okay, this and that, hat and coat, okay, things like that. The word save, if I'm saving money, okay. Obviously the word plus, and then sometimes the word together, right? So Johnny and Michael together. Okay, so those are all good add words. That's not a full list, but that's some very common ones on STAAR. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the words that mean subtract. So some subtract words: spent, okay, spent, like spending money. Ate, okay, he ate 5 hot dogs. Words like cost, right, it cost $10. If there was a fee, a fee. Sometimes it'll say less, oops, right, I'm 5 years less than my sister. And then there's going to be more, but that's going to kind of be our short list. Okay, and then we have words that mean multiply. So some words that mean to multiply, obviously our most common is going to be the word times. They use that one a whole lot on the 6th grade STAAR test, times. The word per, okay, per. So miles per hour, cost per gallon, okay, per means multiply. And then product, a product is the answer to a multiplication problem, so product. Then our words that mean divide. So they each, right, each. I had $10 and I gave each person 2, so there'd be 5 people, right, each. A quotient is the answer to a division problem, so quotient. If we're gonna split the bill, right, split, or share. Okay, those are all good division words. Again, not a complete list, but those are some really common ones on the STAAR test. And then our equals words, okay? If it's an is $10, that tells us that's our equals, okay? A lot of times the word total, okay? Total indicates an equals. Or, oh, she has $500, right? Has. So that's kind of our equal words. Again, not a full list, but it's a good start. All right, so we're going to use those words to break down some equations and create some equations. So the first ones are just short and sweet, okay? We're going to do these 4 in the box. So it says a number plus 6 equals 13. So when they say a number, you can come up with any letter you want. So for this one, I'm just going to use an N for number. So I'm going to put an N above number. And then the word plus tells us that we are going to add. And then we have a 6 equals 13. So we're going to do N plus 6 equals 13. Okay, so a number plus 6 equals 13. All right, and then our next one says a number. So this time, instead of using an N for number, I'll use T for Turner, okay? Again, you can use any letter you want. So a number T less 5. So remember we talked about less is going to be a subtract word. So less 5 equals 23. So a number less 5 equals 23. So we've taken the words and turned it into an equation. So let's keep going. The product of 5 and a number is 35. So again, we learned product. Product is multiplication. So we're going to multiply 5 and a number, okay? So remember that when you set a number, like 5, next to a letter, Okay, so this time for a number, let's use the letter C for Miss Cups. Okay, so the product of 5 and C, again, product means multiplication. So I'm just gonna set them right next to each other, 5C. So remember, when a number and a letter sit next to each other, it means multiply. And then it says is, okay, is our equals word, and then 35. So again, the product means multiply. That's what we're doing here. 5 and a number. Remember, a number can be any letter you want it to be. And then is 35, okay? The last one is the quotient. Remember, quotient is division. And it says of a number. So for this one, let's use M for McDonald, okay? So the quotient of a number and 4, and then we have that is an equals word, equals 6. So we're gonna do M divided by 4 equals 6. We could also write this one M over 4 equals 6, because remember, a fraction is just another way to write division. So we can do it as a fraction if we wanted. Okay, so those are our 4 short and sweet ones. So now let's break down some bigger ones. All right, so example number 1, okay, example number 1 says, a sleeping bag weighs 8 pounds. Your backpack and sleeping bag together weigh 31 pounds. So some things we're gonna pull out, some key vocabulary, the word together and the word and. So backpack and sleeping bag together. So if you look up here, and together tell us to add. So we're definitely looking for some addition, okay? And then it says our total, our together is gonna be 31 pounds. So we're looking for an addition problem with a total of 31. So if I look right here, this is subtraction. We don't have any vocabulary that tells me to subtract, but it does have that total of 31, okay? In this one, we have our total of 31, but it's telling us to multiply, and we don't have any multiplication words. Would we multiply a backpack and a sleeping bag? No. So that doesn't make sense. Okay, this one is addition, so we like this one, and it has a total of 31. So we're pretty sure that this is our answer. But let's check D. So D is 31, the total, times W, which represents the backpack. So are we gonna multiply the weight times the backpack? No. Okay, again, there were no multiplication words in our problem, and the total was not 31 in this problem. Okay, so C is our best answer. And we can kind of go back and check ourselves and say, okay, backpack and sleeping bag equal 31. So if I look at this, sleeping bag and backpack equal 31. Yes, okay? So that's our first example. Example number 2. So in this one it says, halfway through a bus route, 23 students have been dropped off and 48 students remain on the bus. Which of the following equations could be used to determine S, the number of students on the bus at the beginning of the route? Okay, so as we go through and look at keywords, we have dropped off. So when you drop somebody off, what's happening? They're leaving the bus, right? So I think the best vocabulary would tell us that dropped off means to subtract. We're getting rid of those people. We're losing those people. Okay, so I'm probably looking for a subtraction, right? If it says dropped off, okay? So we dropped off 23 students. And then we don't know our total. Our total is missing in this problem, okay? Our total is the S. So we're looking for subtraction with an unknown total, okay? So in this case, are we dividing students? Is that a thing? I don't think so. Where did the half come from? The half came from the word halfway, and that's halfway through the bus route, okay? We don't care how long the bus route lasted. That doesn't affect the people. All right, and then letter B says 23 plus S. So the S is the number of students that started on the bus. So did 23 students get on? Are we adding 23 students to the bus? No, they were dropped off. So it can't be this one because that would mean students were getting on the bus. This one, it says we're multiplying students. Are we multiplying students? Not in this case, so that's not a right answer. And then letter D. Letter D says the number of students that started on the bus, and then we took away 23. We dropped off 23 students, which is what we wanted. And now we have 48 that remain. So what's left over? 48. So this is our best option, okay? And again, we just used that key vocabulary and kind of talked through these. All right, and then our last question, example number 3, says, which situation cannot be represented by the equation x plus 10 equals 45? So essentially, we're looking for a total of 45, and we're looking for problems that mean to add, right? We're looking for addition problems. Okay, and then in this case it says which one cannot be represented. So we're gonna have 3 good answers and 1 answer that does not have addition, okay? All right, so it says Marissa spent $45 on a hat and a shirt. The hat cost $10. What is X, the cost of the shirt in dollars? Okay, so in this case, our spent is actually our total, right? That's how much we spent together on a hat and a shirt. So we spent a total of $45. Now sometimes spent is a negative word, but in this case, the spent is our total. So we have a total of $45 and we bought a hat and a shirt. So when you go shopping, you add your hat and your shirt together to find your total. So in this case, we have addition and we have a total of 45. So A is probably correct, and we're looking for one that is not correct, cannot be represented. So let's look at B. Letter B says Nico rode his bike 45 miles last week. So again, that is our total, okay? Total of 45 miles. It says he rode 10 miles on Tuesday, and then he rode the rest on Wednesday. So essentially Tuesday plus Wednesday is gonna get us our total of 45. So again, this is an addition problem with a total of 45. So we're pretty sure that one is correct as well. Again, we are looking for one that is not correct. All right, letter C, it says there are 45 students in a group. There are also 10 adults in the group. What is X, the total? So in this case, is 45 the total? Because we need 45 to be the total to match this equation. So here we spent 45, that was our total. Here he rode 45 miles, that was our total. But in this case, it says what is X, the total? So if X is the total, can it match our equation up here? The answer is no, it cannot. So we're pretty sure that C is going to be our answer, but let's check D. So in this case, it says 2 players scored a total of 45. So in this case, I don't need to label it total because it tells me. So that matches total of 45. And then it says 1 player scored 10. What is X, the number of points scored by the other player? So when we're adding points together, right, player 1 and player 2, we have to put them together, and that would be addition, right? The player 1 and the player 2. So in this case, player 1 was 10, and we're adding that second player, and for a total of 45 points. So again, addition with a total of 45. So this one is also correct. So the only one that does not really fit is letter C, okay? Letter C.